Welcome to the Occult Rejects. This episode, I got a couple of us with me tonight, and we got ErosUp doing another presentation. So you already know what's up. There's going to be slides and tons of information, and it's going to be a banger. But before we introduce Eros, we're going to introduce Jules and the Headless Giant. My man Jules, what is going on, buddy? It's been good. It's good to see you. I had to wait all week again, but it's worth the wait.
What's going on, man? Happy Friday, guys. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving, ate a lot of food, and ready to get back into it. Go subscribe to my Patreon. Yeah, go support me on Patreon. You get a sticker pack. I sent some out this week. It's good shit, man. And follow me on Twitter at GrayPillPod. I'm very excited for this episode. And yeah, Nick, it's good seeing you guys. Thank you again for inviting me.
Of course. No, I'm glad you
Always.
made it. Glad you made it. Ed, my man, the Headless Giant. What is going on, sir?
How you doing? We're going to have a banger tonight. You can find me at the Headless Giant on Twitter and on Instagram and on YouTube as well. And we are going to get deep into this stuff. I can't wait. I'm just going to leave it at that. So let's go.
Awesome. Thank you very much, sir. And yeah, so today we will be talking about the 12 labors of Hercules, and that is from Eros. Eros, please, for the people who don't know who you are yet, and they should, please let them know where they can find all your amazing work.
You can find me on Twitter at ErosUp, Eros to Ethos, and you can find me on YouTube at ErosUp. Yeah, it's great to be here. Good to see you, Jules. Good to see you, Headless, and Nick.
Hell yeah, thank you. And just let people know a little bit like what you kind of do on your channel too, in case it's the first time seeing it.
Yeah, on my channel, I mainly go through studies of the Enneads. I've been doing a lot on the Occult Rejects, of course, and I plan on continuing with those studies, but also uploading some astrology-based things as well. Just going over like some of the outer transits, or who knows what else I might want to cover.
I look forward to the astrology. There was a few times you opened your mouth up about astrology on the show and you were spitting fire. So I was like, oh, I'm looking forward to this. I was like, this girl's got some shit up in her head. So,
Thanks.
All right. Eros, the 12 labors of Hercules. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I have no idea what the fuck that is. So you're going to have to, I guess, take us with this one.
Yeah. I mean, the 12 labors of Hercules is, well, I guess we'll just get into it.
Sure.
I don't know how many of the labors we'll be able to cover today, or anything like that, but okay. So Hercules, or Heracles, is the son of Zeus and Alcmena, which was just some mortal woman. And so when, they had a baby that really upset Hera, or Juno, Zeus once again being unfaithful to her. And so she kind of set out to kill or ruin Hercules. She's kind of the villain of this story, I guess. It's like, do you blame her? Probably, maybe she goes too far. So like the first example of her trying to sabotage Hercules is when he's an infant, she sends 2 serpents to kill him in his cradle. And Hercules strangles both of them. Now, Hercules actually had a twin. And at first they didn't really know which one was Zeus's son, because I guess Alcmena had a husband as well. And so it was like, okay, well, one of these is Zeus's and one of them isn't. Obviously, when this infant strangles 2 serpents, that indicates that it's Zeus's son for sure. And And that's a pretty pivotal moment because it kind of indicates like it's like a first indication of overcoming the restraints of fate, I guess. And so we will fast forward a bit. I don't know how important to this story some of Hercules' younger things are, like him killing his teacher and stuff like that. Like,
Whoa. I want to
yeah,
hear about that, Eros. What's up? Why did he kill his feet?
he was just kind of aggressive.
Rebellious teen.
He was a rebellious teen, yeah.
Troubled youth. Yes.
Trouble. He was listening to
there.
that metal music.
Well,
Yeah,
one of the things that always pops up is that he doesn't know his own strength, right? He's always sort of this character who, is super strong and has very little control. And in a lot of ways, the 12 labors really refines and shapes his character from being this, out of control youth into something even bigger and better. But I think there's something more about these gods and how they interact with him, and the whole point is, Hera is trying to humiliate Zeus, or trying to humiliate Hercules by doing that. She's humiliating Zeus. She's getting back at him, and the 12 labors were meant to humiliate Hercules, and so he's willingly putting himself into these humiliating situations to bring honor back to his name and back to his family and back to all of that stuff. So it's like the anti-embarrassment. This is like, it damn the torpedoes. It doesn't matter what's happening. You go full-fledged right into the fray. And there's something really admirable about that all the classic world really looked up to.
Thank you, sir.
yeah, that's definitely true. Like, part of it is overcoming the bestial humanity. So anyway, oh, sorry.
No,
Sorry,
go ahead.
Nick.
Just interrupting.
Oh, I was just gonna move on to his marriage. He gets into a happy marriage with Megara, which is the princess of Thebes. They have several children together. But one day when Hercules gets home, I believe he was out slaying monsters, and he gets home and he sees monsters in his home. And he kills all of the monsters that he sees in his home. But once they're all slayed, he realizes that, the monsters were actually his wife and his kids.
Jesus.
Yeah. Hera had inflicted temporary madness on him. So after this, he's overcome with grief and guilt, and he goes to the Oracle of Delphi to seek guidance. And I think that there's some, like maybe the Oracle, like Hera was close to her or something like that, I believe. But either way, what the Oracle tells him is that he needs to become a slave to his cousin, King Eurystheus, for 10 years.
Eurystheus. That has to be it.
Yes, yes, yes.
And perform whatever labors he commands. And, he doesn't love the idea because he thinks that he's inferior, whatever, but he agrees to it.
Also really important to note that this was the king of Mycenae, right? So this is the group that, took their boats over to Troy and smashed that place. Before this, actually, this was the 12 labors of Hercules were, centuries before that. But this was, basically you have the same kind of relationship between Hercules and this king as you do with Achilles and the king of Mycenae back then as well. So it's like you've got this divine being commanded by the impotent and totally powerless in terms of this. And so it's almost like you have to humble yourself. He's kind of like this Maverick character. Everybody knows Maverick, the movie from Top Gun. He's like so much better a pilot than all the people who are commanding him. And he's like, God damn it, Maverick, you got to do what I tell you or whatever. That's sort of the relationship you have with this character. It's sort of like that constant theme all throughout history.
Sorry. Top Gun.
Good movie.
Yeah.
I guess to give more context of why I even wanted to cover this, I was reading Alice Bailey's writing titled The 12 Labors of Hercules. Do you know Alice Bailey?
Yeah.
Theosophy.
Yeah, part of that Theosophy Society, the 7 Rays, Ascended Masters
The
stuff.
Luthean Trust.
Flynn.
But regardless, led me down some rabbit holes. Is making some connections. The story starts with the first labor being the Nemean lion in the east, kind of representing the solar gate, and the fixed cross, because in astrology, the east is where we get our ascendant. So at the exact time that we're born, whatever sign is on the horizon directly to the east is our ascendant, and then that'll set up our zodiac axis. So for him, or what he represents, is the fixed cross. So Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, and Taurus. And when he strangles the serpents, this is, I think I mentioned it before, symbolic of victory over duality, fate, preordained limitations, and also associated with the North and the South nodes, which is another astrological reference. And there are other nodal indicators, like, he kills a bunch of Typhon's kids. All of the monsters pretty much are Typhon's kids. And he's the serpent of the eclipse. And then he starts his journey on the 18th year. So when he's 18, he kills his wife and family, and then he goes through a grieving period. And goes to see the Oracle of Delphi, and he starts this entire journey. And somewhere between our 18th and 19th birthday, we have our nodal return, and then he is a slave to the king for 10 years, which would indicate a reverse nodal return, or a nodal reverse.
Well, if I could add something real quick.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me put this down for a second. So the Hittite lion is a really kind of interesting thing, because this is in the east from where Greece is. And the Hittite lion gate would be, sort of like this kingdom of the east compared to the rest of it. And so you've got this Hittite lion sort of showing up both in the story of Hercules and in the story of Samson as well. Samson is supposed to, strangle this lion in the wilderness, and it's all in the area of the Hittites. And there was actually a lion that was native to the region that went extinct. So all of these lions you see all over the Middle East, they're like, well, where were the lions? Well, they went extinct way back in like the 1600s. And that was like the last time they were ever seen. But these lions were ubiquitous. So when they're talking about shepherds and they're talking about all that stuff, they had to fight off these beasts. And so this Nemean lion wasn't just sort of like a symbol. you know, it was a thing that they had to contest with a lot, and they were a very potent symbol of royalty because everybody knew what that meant. So
Yeah, I was going to say, speaking of the lion, somebody brought up that Gilgamesh and Hercules share a lot of the same characteristics. Yeah, you see Gilgamesh carrying a lion, and also Samson. And then somebody else had said the 12 labors, sufferings, death, and resurrection are related to initiation. Heracles was the model for an initiate. I was going to say something along the lines of, the 12 steps to the hero's journey of the initiate, because not only were these like other heroes that you hear about in antiquity and in the Middle Ages, like the knights and stuff, not only were they warriors, but they were also in these initiatory schools as well. A lot of people don't know that.
Thank you, Jules.
Yeah, absolutely. Very initiatory. So I have a couple of quotes that I really like. So this is from Porphyry. He said,
Nice.
In as much as the sun wards off the evils of the earth, they called him Heracles in passing from east to west, and they invented fables of his performing 12 labors as the symbol of the division of the signs of the zodiac in heaven. And they arrayed him with a club and a lion's skin, the one as an indication of his uneven motion, and the other representative of his strength, and Leo in the sign of the zodiac. And then this is from Valpy, and I'm not really sure who that is. It's a Hellenistic astrologer, an ancient Hellenistic astrologer, but I wasn't able to find any text by them. I wish I could. So if anybody does know who this is or has any text by them, I would be interested in reading those. This constellation is said to represent the Roman Hercules, Greek Heracles, who was the greatest of the Greek heroes and famous for his 12 labors. As an infant, Heracles strangled 2 serpents sent by Juno to kill him as he lay asleep in his cradle. It is suggested that the 2 serpents represent the lunar nodes. He died on a funeral pyre, became a god, and ascended to Mount Olympus to join the other gods. Nason is a Greek title for Hercules, with Roman writers translating it geniculator or geniculatus, these terms meaning the kneeling of man, engansi from engansi, on his knees. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about the North and South Node and Typhon real quick. So
would you see Typhon and Apophis as the same?
Typhon and who?
Apophis. Because they're both the reason why I'm asking is because in the LVX formula, they're both like put together, Apophis and Typhon. Just wondering, in your opinion.
I'm not sure, but probably.
Okay, no.
In Greek cosmology, Typhon is the last and greatest monster produced by Gaia, a serpent, chthonic, eclipse-causing, storm-bringing force. Which, by the way, there have been so many volcano eruptions and seismic activity lately. Like, oh my gosh, chaos is winning. He is a symbol of total cosmic disorder, the opposite of Olympian order. In some traditions, almost all monstrous creatures derive from Typhon and Echidna.
Echidna.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
In Hellenistic symbolism, he's the dragon that eats the sun and moon at eclipses. His head represents the north node and tail represents the south node. He's associated with duality and differentiation. He's also associated with Set, Tiamat, and Rahu / Ketu. And I guess some keywords that I would use around him is unformed, chaos, turbulence, noise, dissolution, anti-intelligence, or psychic fragmentation.
Hey, Nick, you mentioned Apophis. Is that the same as Apep?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I think that's related to Typhon. I'm pretty sure. I knew that Set,
Apep,
that it's basically the same as Set, but
well, Apep and Set actually they did fight. So Set slays Apep, Horus slays Apep, Osiris slays Apep. They all have these different stories where they're slaying the chaos in favor of their orders, right? So you can kind of see these as different ages or different energy levels. So at some levels, they all have a shot at destroying Apep. They actually put this in the recent movies about Shazam, right? The Shazam movies talk about this sort of Apep character that's always about to destroy the world, that has to be backed off by these, elder gods that have the ability to bring chaos under their heel.
Oh, real quick too. Fun fact. It's a fun fact. It's probably just a rumor, but rumor is that Crowley, when you do the LVX for me and you say Apophis and Typhon, you make a sign like that, and he gave supposedly Winston Churchill that sign to defeat the swastika. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's the rumor.
His MI5 days.
Yeah.
Oh, Headless. We were talking about that the other night. The whole
I've always thought he was intelligence for both countries.
and the what was it? What's it called?
The fig.
The fig.
The fig. Right. Female version of this.
Oh.
Oh, sorry, Eris.
Did you guys know about, I don't know, have you guys looked into any of that World War II magic? Or
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I know that Himmler had a castle, right? Because Aquino got one of his daggers. He talks about it when he's being interviewed, and he's given a tour of his, I guess, his temple. And what didn't Hess? Didn't him and Crowley do some duel in the sky or something, coming down on a parachute?
He was supposed to do the duel, and he was baited into it. It was the worst baiting of all time. And this guy parachutes into England to have this wizard duel
Dressed
with,
in all these
Crowley,
sigils,
right? And then he gets immediately arrested and thrown into a dungeon until they kill him. It's come on, what was that supposed to do?
But
So
they
ridiculous.
don't kill him. They keep him alive for so long. He tries to kill himself so many times.
Yeah.
Poor guy. And kind of what he talks about I don't know. He definitely talks about his experiences with that psychological magical warfare, and there's no distinct proof about it, but they did want Crowley to interrogate him, and they took him to some off-grid place. They didn't document anything that happened. Crowley said he would love to interrogate him, but I guess nobody.
You're talking about Hess?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because Crowley, he was already embedded in the MI5 by that point. So
Yes. Yep.
yeah, he just lured him into a trap, basically. He's like, "Yeah, come fight me." Oops, psych.
Yeah.
Well,
I
this
think
was a thing that this was going on in World War I as well. So Crowley was supposed to be a double agent in World War I. He was supposed to be turning against the British. So he comes over to America to tell the Germans in America that if they blow up the Lusitania, that the Americans will shrink away from war like scared children. How'd that work out? So they were really pissed off about that, because, he had lured them into a trap to get America into World War I. And then World War II, they had a beef to settle with him. And in the process, they actually just got drawn into another trap that Crowley laid for them. So, I mean, you got to control your nervous system, people, because you will get lured into a trap by people who are just trolls. You've got to let it go.
Yeah, and then you'll end up throwing yourself down the stairs and stabbing yourself in the neck with a fork for 60 years until they finally let you die.
Unreal.
Maria
Yeah.
Orsic.
Anyway, I thought what some other people had said about Typhon was pretty interesting. You know, hundreds of serpent coils, wings, fire-breathing heads, speaking in contradictory voices, human, animal, male, and female tones, a walking clash of opposites. Polynius, he's kind of credited with like the order of the list of labors. There were earlier ones, but none of them survived, so this is the best that we got.
But read that real closely. Apollonius of Rhodes, it says Typhon has 100 snakeheads that speak in discordant voices, simultaneously bellowing like bulls, hissing like snakes, roaring like lions, and whispering like humans. The only thing it's missing is the eagle, and then it becomes the tetramorph.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Nice. That was a good, nice, dude.
Yep. The
So he's just
archetype
leading
of
it off. I was like, I know where he's going with that.
true though. Archetype of unresolved cacophonous duality. Plutarch said Typhon is the duplicating, dividing, dissociative principle in the universe. He's the counterpart to Osiris, where Osiris is one, Typhon is many, splitting and tearing apart. Plutarch repeatedly uses the Greek word duality when describing Typhon's nature. Typhon represents the dyadic principle of indefinite multiplicity that opposes the monad. In the Platonic theology, he is called the cause of division and separation in the cosmos, the force that pulls the one into the many. And that was Proclus. And then I guess the Orphics, according to the Orphics, Typhon is sometimes called double-natured and is linked to the cosmic egg being split in two at the beginning of creation, a primordial act of duality.
Something interesting about that is you've got the dual-heartedness, right? And what we see in the Hopi prophecies is that the dual-hearted will then be shuffled off of this planet, away from us in the end of their planetary, cosmology. So there's this duality that exists within people that causes the dissociation, right? That's what he was saying as well, is this dissociative personality. So it's the people who can disassociate their actions from themselves that, really start to become a problem as this sort of Typhonian force.
I mean, makes sense. So the north node and south node are the 2 points at which the orbit of the moon intersects the ecliptic. It's kind of interesting. There's a 5-degree separation between the moon's orbital path and the sun's orbital path, though I guess, the moon's orbital path, I believe, is kind of complicated. Like, can talk about that more in a minute, but
18-year cycle, just like the first part of Hercules' journey.
Yep. Does that say that anywhere here? No, but it is. So the south node represents disillusion, memory, past karma. It drains energy. It collapses identity. The north node is desire, future karma, appetite, pulls energy outward, inflates identity. It's like a magnetic pull. So like like people use it a lot in astrology. Like some people think it's like your life path or something. But really it's a karmic axis, and it's something to balance. So eclipses always occur on the north and south axes. When the nodes return to their own, this is from Vedius Valens, which is an ancient Hellenistic astrologer. And this is him explaining the nodal return and the node reversal. When the nodes return to their own places, the nodal return, they bring laborious crises, bodily sufferings, and great expenses. But when the node is in opposition, the nodal reversal, the native enjoys relief, inheritance, or unexpected good fortune. So when Hercules is starting out this journey, right, he's in his nodal return. And then that 10 years later, when he finishes the 10th labor, it would be his node reversal. I spent way too much time on this slide, but the nodes belong to the moon. So it's like there is like a link to memory there, right? That's why there's that past life karma. The subconscious, which tends to bring out like a lot of those like fears and I don't know how to describe that any better. But at those points, the north and south node, you get some chaotic behaviors and some differentiation, because the sun and the earth, like, I guess I'll just skip to the next slide really quick. The original three-body problem was the sun. Have you ever heard of this?
Recently, I have, yes.
Okay.
My wife talks about this all the time. Yeah. So
It makes prediction almost impossible. That's the summation, I guess.
Yep. Yeah. And the sun and the earth, like when if they were just a duality, like things would line up perfectly. You would have nice, perfect math. But since the moon comes in and there's these gravitational pulls, I would say that they can't determine the path of the moon, but they have found a way to model it really accurately. So, but regardless, this was the original three-body problem, and yeah, because that moon is introducing this chaotic behavior and this differentiation. And so when the moon comes to the nodes, you'll see like tidal extremes, eclipses, magnetospheric differentiations. Nodal alignments can create points where multiple continuous fields diverge into sharply different states. Light divides into shadow bands. The umbra, penumbra, corona, sorry, I don't know, I'm not a scientist, tides into maxima and minima. So like spring tides versus neap extremes. And it's also where like all timekeeping meets. So that's where like all calendars kind of sync up.
Well, also the optic nerves, right? So he was mentioning how you see the sigil of Satan, and if you're looking at the penumbra from the Earth right here, you kind of get that sigil of Satan going on in the shadows behind it.
Yeah, exactly. It does. It's just like images coming into the eye. That image next to it is the Earth as photographed, or I don't know how they did this. This is plasma. So it's a look at plasma from the North Pole. And it's too bad I can't click that link, I guess, right here. But, they just did this in 2023. Like they have not explored at all, like how the moon affects like plasma. They have seen how it affects like elements and uh, tides and
Water. Yeah.
yeah, all sorts of things.
The
But
body, the menstrual cycle, a lot of things. Sorry, I hope that's not awkward, but I've heard a lot of studies about it.
yeah, but so this is the best that we got. This is in 2023, and they're looking at different phases of the moon, or you know uh, places of the moon orbiting. It's kind of interesting. And then there's this spring tide versus the neap tides. All right. So I think, like you guys had already mentioned, this myth is really an initiatory allegory describing the soul's passage along the draconic axis, the line marked by the south and north lunar nodes, the movement of consciousness from the solar gate of Leo, the individualized egoic identity towards the celestial gate of Aquarius, the sphere of the supra-personal nous and cosmic service, overcoming duality and fate, coming into the higher mind, and taking control of your will. It's not an uncommon belief in esoteric literature or mystery schools that you would work your way back from the solar gate in reverse to the cosmic gate. And here's a few quotes from Alice Bailey and the 12 Labors of Hercules. She said, "Competition and selfish objectives have to be completely changed and eliminated, and we shall find Hercules learning the lesson that to grasp anything for the separated self is no part of the mission of a son of God. He has to find himself as an individual, only to discover that individualism must be sacrificed intelligently to the good of the group." I don't know how I feel quite about that quote. Kind of communist, but the meaning is like the Leo to Aquarius. Discipleship could be defined as the final stage of the path of evolution, and as that period in a man's experience in which he is definitely self-conscious. It is the stage in which he knowingly pledges himself to impose the will of the soul, the higher self, which is essentially the will of God, upon the lower nature. Upon this path, he submits himself to a forcing process so that the flower of the soul can unfold more quickly. It is a process of refining, of sublimation, and of transmutation carried steadily forward until at length the mount of transfiguration and of illumination is attained.
Yep. facing the dweller on the threshold.
We shall
And we're
trace.
just on the first
Oh, sorry.
one.
I know.
Oh, go
We
ahead,
shall.
Ellie.
Oh. And then the last one, we shall trace the story of Hercules as he passed through the 12 signs of the zodiac. In each sign, he expressed its characteristics, and in each sign, he achieved some fresh knowledge of himself. And through that knowledge, he demonstrated the power of the sign and acquired the gifts which the sign conferred. In each of the signs, we shall find him surmounting his natural tendencies, controlling and governing his destiny, and demonstrating the fact that the stars incline but do not control. Hercules astrologically enacted the life history of every aspirant and demonstrated the part which the unit must play in the internal enterprise.
Right. I like that view of Hercules better than the communist one for sure.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, um, I don't know if I really see like the Aquarian principle as sacrificing yourself to the good of the group. I mean, certainly humanitarian, but I don't know. I still get what they're saying.
Well, in essence, I think what he has to do is he has to sacrifice his own, um, um, basically his own mortification, right? So he's they're trying to humiliate him, and he has to rise above that humiliation to know himself better, right? So that humiliation is sort of there to try and keep him from knowing himself and actually knowing what he's capable of, and then him rising above that and flowering out of it would be more akin to the hero's journey as opposed to self-sacrificing. Maybe it's sacrificing the egoic limitations of oneself, which is not exactly sacrificing oneself, but you know what I mean.
Well, yeah, it's exactly what you just said. The ego, being a part of more of the lower nature, right? Stuff that holds you down, ties you to this material realm.
Yeah. You said it really well, I think.
That's what I was thinking too. It could be like giving up. Yeah, exactly what Jules said.
Let's screenshot this, Eros.
This?
Yeah, no, that's great. I love the little graph that you put together. Like it's very organized and very practical for learning. So,
Oh,
thank you.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to hopefully map the labors to the zodiac signs from Leo in reverse order to Virgo, because there's a lot of emphasis on this, like right reversal, like from the solar gate to the celestial gate, from Leo to Aquarius, and there's that idea. I think I already said it. Yeah. Like, you come out of the celestial gate to the solar gate. And so obviously you would have to return through that path. But so the way that our earliest, I guess, record of the order of the labors is from Apollodorus. And so he ordered it as the Nemean lion, the Lernaean hydra, the Ceryneian hind, the Erymanthian boar, cleaning the Augean
Aegean
stables,
stables, yep.
slaying the Stymphalian birds, capturing the Cretan bull, stealing the mares of Diomedes, obtaining the belt of Hippolyta, obtaining the cattle of the three-bodied giant Geryon, stealing 3 of the golden apples of the Hesperides, and capturing and bringing back Cerberus. And there was a historian, I don't remember where he was from, but this Diodorus Siculus was a historian that came after Apollodorus, and he switched around some of the labors. So it was mostly the same, but he swapped the 3rd and the 4th, and the 5th and the 6th, and the 11th and the 12th labors. And then we have like one of the only writings that I could find of the mapping of the labors to the zodiac signs. And so Alice Bailey mapped Aries to the mares of Diomedes. I'm sorry, I botched that so bad. Taurus to the Cretan bull, Gemini to the gathering of the golden apples, Cancer to the Cyrenian hind, Leo to the Nemean lion, Virgo to the girdle of Hippolyta, Libra to the Erymanthian boar, Scorpio to the Lernaean hydra, Sagittarius to the Stymphalian birds, Capricorn to the capture of Cerberus, Aquarius to the cleansing of the Augean stables, and Pisces to the capturing of the red cattle of Geryon. And I feel like some of these make sense, but in my opinion, some of them just don't. You know. And so, yeah, with that in mind of like Leo to Virgo, I went and I researched a bunch of different systems that people use. And I found this. This is from a Rosicrucian text.
Nice.
And so you have like, it's kind of similar, where if only like this Leo was 1 and Aries was 5. I mean, and then, I mean, it's not that similar at all, but what it does have in common is that Virgo is considered like the end point. And I think that this like Virgo and Leo relationship shows up a lot in different schools of thought. And here you have
The Scarlet Whore riding the beast, right? That's the strength card in Crowley's tarot, right? So, you know, the beast being ridden by the Virgin is sort of like a constant within the you know, all of the tarot cards. So that's, you know, it's right there in front of you.
Yeah, and you know, here you have Virgo as the ineffable name, Voldemort, obviously. But yeah, it was pretty interesting. Could almost fit. And then here is the Sphinx zodiac. So you got Virgo, Leo, Cancer, Gemini, Taurus, Aries, Libra. It is doing the reverse order. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, I thought there was something weird about it, but now that I'm looking at it again, there's nothing weird about it. Yeah, this is like the exact kind of order that I would think of for this myth.
Well, there are other clues, right? So in other myths, he goes to Atlas, and he has to use Atlas as this, another strongman character, and he tricks Atlas into doing some labor for him. And then when Atlas comes back, he tricks Atlas into holding up the sky again because Atlas doesn't want to hold up the sky. So during the time that Hercules is holding up the sky, he's contemplating how he's going to get out of this situation because Atlas doesn't want to be the one to hold up the heavens, right? He doesn't want to hold up the zodiac. He doesn't want to hold up the memory anymore. That was sort of his punishment after the Titanomachy. And then when when Atlas returns, he says, "I got to scratch my nose. Do you mind holding this real quick?" And then Atlas grabs the heavens and he's like, "Thank you." And then see you later. He pieces out. So he is holding up the sky in one of these labors, and it's very, very clearly linked to these heavenly bodies.
Yeah, that's the 11th, or I think it's the 11th labor where he's going to get the apples of, I forget, and so he has to go to,
Hesperides, apples of Hesperides.
yes, and so he goes to like the edge of the earth for this, and yeah, like you said, it's something like adjusting his cloak or something to trick Atlas into, I don't know, going to get the apples.
I think the Hesperides were Atlas's daughters, and so he only knew where the apples of the Hesperides were. So he had to hold up the sky so that
Yeah.
Atlas could retrieve the apples. And in so doing, Atlas figures, I'm off the hook. I don't have to hold up the sky anymore. What's interesting too is you've got a bone in the back of your skull right here, the one closest to the hole in your skull. It's called the Atlas bone because it's holding up the sky. It's holding up your skull. So in a lot of ways, there's a linkage between all of this stuff and memory itself.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I associated that with labor with with, I think, Sagittarius and Scorpio. But the Sagittarius at least makes sense, right? Because you're exploring out and you're finding the edge of where you can explore and holding up the sky. It's very Jupiterian. And then for that like higher knowledge. But I thought this was interesting too because there's a lot to be said about the Egyptians and this idea of the Virgo and Leo. Let's see. In antiquity, the sun, stars, and constellations were central to marking the annual cycle. Leo, the lion, sits in the sky where the sun reaches its maximum declination during late July, August, the heart of summer in the northern hemisphere. Virgo, the Virgin, lies immediately to the east of Leo and governs the zone of the sky associated with the harvest in autumn. The Sphinx, as a hybrid human head facing east and lion's body facing west, encodes the junction between a human/virginal sign and a leonine sign, a symbolic marker for the change from the age/season of the lion to that of the virgin and the apparent precessional cycle, or more simply, the daily/annual passage from one stellar region to the next. In Egyptian iconography, they paired human and animal imagery to express cosmic roles. The Great Sphinx at Giza combines a pharaoh's head with a lion's body. Lions in Egyptian art are solar and royal symbols linked to the rising/setting sun and to kingship. The human head links the ruler's intelligence and identity to cosmic order. Some ancient myths depict the guardian or gatekeeper at the horizon who faces the rising or setting sun, echoing the Sphinx dual orientation. In these myths, the guardian marks the passage between two cosmic domains, comparable to Leo to Virgo transitions among zodiacal seasonal imagery. And in Hellenistic astrology, the constellation Virgo is associated with fertility. Oh, I don't know if that's important. Yeah, that was all I wanted to say on that one. And then, you have a bunch of different schemes of the descent into matter and the ascent back to the celestial gate. So Steiner believed that the path of descent was from Aries to Pisces, so the normal direction that you would go through the zodiac, and then you would return in a reverse order. But to be fair, Steiner had a bunch of different schemes, so I don't know. Iamblichus, sorry, believed that you would descend into matter through the gate of Cancer. So he believed in these Cancerian and Capricorn gates. So this would be from, and they were lunar. No, that's maybe that was Apollonius. But regardless, Iamblichus believed that the descent into matter would be from Leo to Capricorn, and that ascent would be from Capricorn to Cancer. And then Apollonius believed that descent would go from Aquarius to Cancer, and ascent would be from Leo to Capricorn. I paired them up like this. I think that the Nemean lion would best align with Leo, the Hydra would best align with Cancer, the Cyrenian hind with Gemini, the boar with Aries, the Augean stables with Pisces and Aquarius, the Stymphalian birds with Aquarius, Cretan bull with Taurus, mares of Diomedes with Aries and Pisces, the belt of Hippolyta with Libra, the cattle of Geryones with Capricorn, the golden apples of Hesperides with Scorpio and Sagittarius, and Cerberus with Scorpio. I don't know if we want to dig deeper. I guess we still have.
If I was going to dig into that a little bit, like all of these ancient Sumerian versions of these asterisms were slightly different. So Capricorn had like a scorpion tail as well. So there was other elements that were put in, but they're similar in the symbolism. right? So they all sort of have the same symbolism that they were remixing for their own versions of these things. So in a lot of ways, the regional variations really do give you a flavor for how these different people thought about, like you were talking about, the ascent into matter, or the ascent from matter into spirit, and the descent from spirit into matter again. These are sort of cultural values that they're injecting here. So a lot of this stuff, because especially the story of Hercules, because these were all the places that the Greeks had basically conquered, right? So this was their tale of expansion. And so they would add stories about Hercules as they would go along and expand throughout the region. So they had to align and have a recursive effect with these stories and the sky and their conquest of them. This is one of the reasons why in Carthage, they looked at Hercules as this divine hero character as well, even though it was from a different culture. And when the Carthaginians came over the Alps, what's his name? What's his name? The guy who was conquering all of Italy at the time. Give me some help here.
Constantine?
Starts with, no, this was a Carthaginian Hannibal. There we go. Hannibal said that his labor in taking the elephants over the Alps was greater than that of Hercules himself. So he was making that comparison because that was one of the things that they revered as well. So these trials of Hercules went from all the way in North Africa over to the Greco-Buddhists in Kazakhstan, right? So they had the images of Hercules as this figure of conquest and indomitable spirit all the way across Europe and deep into Asia.
Why did you mention Capricorn having a scorpion tail?
I got my reasons, but no, it's in this imagery itself. But that's what the the version of the mythology coming from the Sumerians was. So Capricorn was a human body on top of a lion or horse body, and also it had the scorpion tail as well. So there was a sort of a linkage between all of these different symbols that they were sort of expressing in their culture that maybe didn't fully transfer over into other cultural expressions of it.
Interesting. Yeah, Alice Bailey mapped, for example, the Cerberus labor to Capricorn. But I mean, Scorpio makes sense, right? It's Cerberus, it's Pluto's companion. Like, he goes down, he brings Cerberus up to the surface, and then they're like, oh my gosh, no, put him back. So
it was one of those things, I'll bet you can't do it. And he did it, and they were like, oh, what do we do? Now he's loose. Like, this is the hound of hell for all intents and purposes. It's the most terrifying beast in the world because souls are not allowed to exit hell, and the thing that stops them from exiting hell is Cerberus. So you're bringing that up to the surface. It's it's hell on earth, basically.
Yep. And that's what Scorpio does. It brings hidden things to the surface, the dark things to the surface. But I suppose we can stop there for now, just because
Sure. What's the next part going into?
Just like these justifications for why I map things to the things that I did. But honestly, I haven't perfected them enough. I want to add a lot more detail to it.
Oh, there you go. I have time to do that. Is there anything else that Eros, I mean, besides like anything that you wanted to say that was in there that maybe you didn't mention before? Anything maybe popped up in your head that you're like, oh, I should have put that down. Yeah, sometimes.
Oh, I mean, the hero's journey, right? I definitely should have included more about the hero's journey or just a description of that. But it's not something that I would be able to explain off the cuff anyway.
Right. Well, there's many type of a hero's journey, right? It's like the quest for immortality or the quest to find your highest consciousness. You could say it's all one and the same, but I think you can differentiate a little between some of these figures that are talked about in these similar stories.
Yeah, in astrology, people map their hero's journey to their Mars. It's fun if anybody is interested in looking into whether that resonates with them.
Well,
Do
there
you
is a
do that?
crossover between.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Jules.
I was asking Eros if she reads astrology.
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
May shoot you a message or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I really like working with like synastry and transits, or just even aligning yourself to like your daemon, or I don't know, finding meaning or whatever.
No, it's something that I'd like. I don't know. I'm sure we could have you on to talk about it sometime as well. I'm sure you've been on here to talk about astrology. I don't know, has she, Nick?
Actually, no, she
Really?
hasn't.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that'd be new for you.
Yeah, no, that'd be cool. I'd like to hear about it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be happy to do that. There's a lot to talk about with astrology.
Yeah, I've never had anyone on to really talk about it. So
Yeah.
I know Nick has had people on to talk about like Mayan astrology and then like all this other type of astrology, but
I get much information out of it too.
Yeah, I focus on Hellenistic astrology.
Cool.
I think that Monday might talk about. Oh well, yeah. Anyway, Monday I might talk about the lot of spirit a little bit and connecting to your daemon. Interesting stuff, but on
Alchemy Mondays.
Monday, yeah.
Very alchemical.
Alchemy Mondays.
Oh, yo, I don't think we mentioned it on the. Did we mention on the show that we're going to that event, Headless? Have we mentioned that yet?
Yeah.
Oh, we did. Okay.
Oh no, we haven't. No, we haven't. Go ahead and tell them. Let them know where we're going to be.
Oh God, I keep forgetting the name of it. Fuck.
Okay, I'll let you look it up. I got something here that may have influenced a lot of Vedic astrology. It was called Greco-Buddhism, right? And Greco-Buddhism was practiced in a very interesting part of the world, right? So let's look at the map here. This is the Indo-Greeks, right? The Indo-Greek kingdoms right in here, all the stands and stuff like this. They had the Mauryan Empire, right? This was in the 4th century BC, right? So all of this stuff, they think that the early Buddhist statues actually came from the Greeks during the time of, I can pull that up a little bit. During the time
picture, whatever,
of Alexander the Great, right? And so let me see. These are the coins showing Alexander the Great conquering the region, right? Afghanistan as well. So right, so Bactra right here, Al-Khanum. All of this stuff in here was kind of heavily influenced by this Greek sort of push into the region through Alexander the Great. And so if we look into it, it's the Greco-Buddhism Bactrian kingdom was a successor of the Seleucid Empire. So that was the people occupying all of Syria and the Levant. So they have, a lot of information here just recently sort of being uncovered. And Greco-Buddhism seemed to be a syncretism between the two, and it was, perfectly in line with the sort of Buddhist ideal. And if you look into a lot of Aphrodite's Orphic hymns, it has a real Buddhic flavor to it. Like they're talking about desire and how desire is the root of, it's the chains that bind every beast, right? Desire is the chains that bind every beast, and that really sounds a lot like how the Buddhists saw, desire as being like the early part of, all suffering in the world. So the wheel of the law, right? And I'm not sure how much of a role it played in forming the Vedic astrology, but you have a very strong astrological culture in India, being having this other strong astrological culture right off to their north, up in Pakistan, and the rest of it. Did you want to pull up your image?
Oh yeah, I'll pull it up.
Yeah. I think this is the one you were talking about. Was this the one with Hercules next to him?
Yep, there's Hercules right next to Buddha.
Is his hand turning into a lotus, or am I just seeing, or is that like a pine cone in his hand? Like, I don't know.
It's the Orion pose.
Looks like
It's
something
the Orion pose.
Yeah.
He's got the.
Isn't the Orion constellation right next to Hercules?
Yeah, that's a smaller picture right there. I don't have the bigger one. I wish I did.
I think. Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine.
I was gonna say I think there's like also an idea that like maybe all Indo-Europeans came from like Vedic times.
Yeah, I can't tell what's in his hand. I'm even looking at other pictures. That's weird. There's something in there though.
Is it a flower bud?
I was saying the lotus blossom. But also, we've been talking a lot lately about the crown chakra with the 33 petals on the flower and stuff.
That would be the Hercules constellation, and you see that same form being, exemplified with that other Hercules right next to Buddha, right? So he's got that arm above his head in that same shape. So I think they kind of knew what that was about, and having it mesh in with Buddhism just seemed to be a natural fit. Because both Proto-Indo-European speaking societies, right, and that's where the Aryan invasion of India started, right through those mountains. So actually, kind of fits really well.
Yeah, I think I read an article long while ago about I don't remember whether it was called like titled Vedic Indo-European or something like that, but they were tracing languages back, and they traced it all back to Vedic times. It's kind of interesting, or at least all Indo-European languages.
Right. Well, the Indians say that all of the Aryans came from India and moved out, but there's absolutely no evidence to show that. Right?
The opposite.
The opposite way.
Oh, so that thing we're going to headless.
Yes.
That is the Quest for Ancient Civilizations, and that's Scottsdale, Arizona. That's December 5th through 7th. It's done by Worldview Z Media and Wandering Wolf. We've had him on the show before, and Debunking Dan will be there as well. He's been on the show. So yeah, we'll be there from the 5th through 7th. I mean, we don't have a booth, but somehow they gave us free tickets. So we're going.
Where is it again?
Scottsdale, Arizona.
Oh.
Yep, 5th through 7th. And you also have Mike and Dave's Multiverse will be there. Cody from, what was that?
Cody.
East 10 Productions.
East 10 Productions. We did a great show on Delphi with him. That was a great time. It's going to be an awesome time.
Yeah. Well, he's emceeing the thing. I had no idea. When I told him I was going, he's like, "Oh, I'll definitely be able to say hi and what's up." He's like, "Well, I'll probably be busy," and he was explaining like the emceeing and a bunch of other stuff he's involved in. I was like, "Oh shit, okay."
Very cool.
Yeah. But it should be interesting. Dave from Mike and Dave's was telling me he thinks it might be better than the Cosmic Summit. So we'll see. But should be fun. Should be fun. If you guys are around, let us know. Even tell you the truth, even if you're in like that area, I don't know if you want to hang out after the fact. I mean, I guess we'll be around after the show. So let me know.
I was in Medicine Park on Tuesday, and one of my followers on Twitter just started posting pictures of it because he's right down the street from where we're at. So I know there's people out in Scottsdale, so hit us up.
That is bugged out.
Medicine Park, Oklahoma. Who would have thought?
Oh, and real quick, I should have mentioned that I don't even know who some of these people are, but you got AJ Gentile speaking, Gary Buechler, Jimmy Corsetti, David Hatcher, Childress, Hugh Newman. I know who he is. He was at Cosmic Summit. William Henry, Michael Button, Dan Richards, JJ Ainsworth, Will Brown, Michael Collins, who's Wandering Wolf. He's been on the show before. And Oana, I don't even know how to say this name. Forget it. Sorry. Yeah. Some other name I can't pronounce. So check it out. All right. Was there anything else that you guys want?
Well, hey, if y'all have 5 minutes, I found, do y'all remember when I told you, I think it was a couple years ago, I went to VMI and I saw a bunch of cool statues and stuff. I found those pictures. They synced up. My other laptop synced up to this laptop. So I got all my old stuff from the earlier Gray Pilled episodes. I'm kind of stoked about it. But here, I've got some pictures that I'm going to share with you. Just 5 or 6 pictures. Headless will enjoy these. Let's see. Here's this one right here. I think that is Cupid and Eros, right? Or
is that
like
Apollo
Helios.
on the
Apollo?
chariot?
Helios. Helios is in the chariot. Apollo doesn't really have a chariot.
Okay. So that, because look, he has
Helios.
wings too. I'm pretty sure, or a cape maybe. Maybe he's depicted. Just beautiful art, man.
Yeah, it's sick.
Or no, I think it was saying, was that Cupid and Psyche? Right there,
Yeah.
up top.
Cupid and Psyche.
Yeah.
That makes
Okay.
sense.
Okay. Yeah. That's what it was saying on the thing. So here, there's that. Then there's a couple that y'all are gonna actually really like. Here, let's. I need to do PowerPoints. That'd be a lot cooler. There's this one I was telling you about, Headless, right here. This is our girl. And look, she has the Phrygian cap on, dude.
Why does she have a Phrygian cap on?
I don't know, but I'm loving it. I'm gonna have to get me one.
And she's got the Medusa head on her breastplate, which is common to Athena as well.
That's a thing. Yeah. I was gonna say.
But Athena usually has a helmet, a Greek helmet, not the Phrygian cap.
Yo, that was the symbol that I
interesting.
used yesterday without you, Headless. I think that's
pretty
what
cool.
Oh.
Here, hold on. I got some more. I gotta pull them up one by one.
Does she have ivy at her feet? Is that weird?
Well, she looked like she was sitting on a cannon.
This was
So it
in
does
the
have that
church,
Athena
in the
feel.
Robert E. Lee Church right here. You have basically a phoenix on top. Yeah, look at the dude. So here I have a close up. There's a dove at the bottom. It says military on it with the all-seeing eye, but I have a close up of the eye, dude. Hold on, look at this. It's kind of creepy. Not gonna lie. Sorry, I have to do this, guys. This is
Very good.
Where was this?
This was in Virginia, in Lexington. VMI. Look at the eye. It's like looking up. I guess it's symbolic of looking up to the heavens. But
It doesn't look like that.
what does it look like?
Um,
What's it look like to you, Eros?
Say it.
it looks
Say
like
it.
exhausted, tired. It looks beaten down. I don't know.
You're right. Yeah. I was waiting for someone else to say it. Yeah. No, absolutely. Almost the evil eye in a way. Yeah. I kind of caught that vibe. I was like, this is weird. It's kind of eerie. Here, let's look at some more pictures. Got some pictures.
Well, in the Tanit steles that you have in front of the Tophets, you always have Baal Hamon above Tanit in the form of that all-seeing eye, sort of shining down on top of her as well. So that's Baal Hamon, as well as being, the idea of Amon Re as well.
Oh, ball hormone. This was right outside right there. That's Minerva, I think, right? Because
Very
you have
much.
the owl up in the corner. I was like, oh, cool, Moloch. Oh. Obviously, knowing what I know now.
Minerva gives Hercules a cloak.
Look at the face and the arm right there. Isn't that cool? Is that the same as the Medusa head?
That looks like it. Yeah, that's part of the armor that she's wearing. It seems like some sort of plate armor.
What is it?
Is she grabbing the moon?
Oh, it's a crescent moon. Okay.
Right, and
Are
it
those
looks like she's got.
serpents?
This is just on the campus. So
She's got that
I
nipple.
wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, it's that left nipple again, just like the Virginia flag. The Virginia flag
look
has.
at all the serpents going down her
Yeah.
sleeve.
It has, yeah, it has the.
What city is that, Headless?
What VMI?
Is that
Oh, no,
is that depicting the college?
That's the engineering symbol for the army. The engineering symbol is that castle with the two parapets, and then the gate that opens and closes in front of it. That's the engineering core of the army. I was in it, so that's what we had on our berets. But that boob out is the same type of thing that you see on the Virginia flag, right? So the goddess that you see standing on top of the man with her spear in her hand also has the boob out exactly like that, but she doesn't have the Athena style armor over top of there. But it's interesting how they're remixing it.
Well, here I have just a couple more before we get out of here. This one right here was interesting. I don't know if you knew it, if this represented anything. There's a little Templar cross right there in the middle of that castle. If you zoom in a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Templar cross.
And then you go down and it's I don't know what shield that is or what kind of writing that is either.
That's Greek.
That's Greek. Okay, figured. So the whole campus is just Greek. Yeah. All right. Cool, man.
We gotta learn to read Greek.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it can't happen overnight. Anyway, one more picture. Thought this was interesting. Headless, you might. What's that right there, dude? Hold on. Let me pull this up. What's that right there? Is that ring?
Looks like a Star David boy.
6-point star on there. I don't know about all that.
Yeah,
they had that. There's the bigger picture. It says mitzvah on the top and this big gold plate. I think it was something to Israel. I don't know. It was
that looks like
right around
writing.
Yeah, it was right around when I started to get woke to the whole JQ thing. But anyway, thought this was. I saw these pictures and I remember I was talking to y'all a few weeks ago about it. So next time I'm going to the Rosicrucian Lodge. Well, it's not. There's Rosicrucians there, I guess, but it's the first lodge, the Glasgow Lodge, I think. First lodge in Virginia. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah,
we have our friends, the Virginians for Conspiracy Lovers. They actually did. Right. Yeah. He did like several different training sessions for the Masons in Virginia because they didn't know anything about their early history and their link to the Knights Templar or any of that stuff. So, like, conspiracy theorists are actually training Freemasons now because the Freemasons have lost all of their own internal history, which is just ridiculous. Like, what are we doing?
That's why I'm adverse to the Phrygian cap.
Why is that?
Well, because I see the French Revolution as orchestrated by the Masons.
The Orient Lodge, right? So the Orient Lodge is sort of like a faction within the Masons that carried out the French Revolution, which was not exactly in line with what the other Masons, the Scottish Freemasons and the other brands were. So, the Scottish Freemasons were not about that stuff. Scottish Freemasons are the ones that gave us the American Revolution, and the Oriental Lodge is what gave us the French Revolution.
Yeah, and they admitted to it. Like multiple of the Masons admitted to orchestrating the French Revolution and like hiring people to like cause chaos and to like do fires and all sorts of things, like purposefully causing food shortages and economic problems and stuff like that. And so like they admitted it. And they said that it was basically like you have to cause a bunch of chaos to kind of topple a foundation. And so there's so much chaos and disorder that people will accept whatever kind of stability you present to them.
Yep.
It's like they would never accept the changes that you want to make in their cushy lives. It's like you have to destroy that.
Right. And
And
then
what was the
like-
primary method? What was the primary method of spreading that chaos? It was these silly little cartoons that they had in the form of these pamphlets that made fun of the queen and the king and all the rest of the stuff until people had lost all sense of decency, right? So they were bawdy little comic strips that they were passing out among people. And it was just like, yeah, look, they're so indecent or whatever, but they were just comic strips, right? I mean, it's the same thing as like World War I and the, babies on bayonets. It's just equally as ridiculous. And all they were doing was trying to whip up a frenzy and get the people to riot.
It's the order out of chaos. It's kind of what they've been doing for 1,000 years, but they do it, in many ways, as we're seeing right now from all angles, especially in the political field. That's kind of insane. It's kind of hilarious though. If you don't align with any of them, you just look back and just kind of laugh. Unfortunately, it affects everybody though. So
I think it's funny because it's like they're poking at us. Like they're trying so hard to get people to revolt, but people are so like lazy and like honestly in positions where it's not like most people could revolt even if they wanted to. It's like, I don't know. But it's kind of funny. And I know the Armenian Revolution also, like the Masons orchestrated that. And that was kind of disturbing. They just crucified a bunch of people. And
in contrast, we have the Roman fart riot.
Were they?
So this is what happened if you tried to start riots in ancient Rome. So the term fart riot refers to a historical incident in 75 AD where a Roman soldier's public fart and disrespectful gesture in Jerusalem during the Passover festival incited a riot that resulted in approximately 10,000 deaths. According to the historian Josephus, the soldier pulled back his garment and cowered down in an incident manner and turned his breech to the Jews and spake such words as you might expect upon such a posture.
Wow.
oh man,
Based.
Beast.
one fart,
One fart to rule them all.
10,000 deaths. That's crazy.
Who were the deaths?
That was definitely. Who do you think? Who had the spears?
Fuck.
Oh man,
Oh.
good times.
Yeah, it was interesting times.
Good times.
Is there anything else you guys wanted to add or talk about?
Everybody watch my show in the morning.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, go check that out.
Tomcat from Strange Brew is going to be coming on at 10 o'clock. Don't know why he chooses to do it so early, but that's okay. Canadians, what can I say? And so we're moving Esoteric Book Review to Sunday morning. Occult symbolism of birds and fish, I think. Maybe I'm pretty sure it's Sunday morning. And then Veritas Road is coming on Sunday night, I think. I had a whole lot of people book with me this month and this next month, guys. So got a lot of Grey Pill shows. Got a lot of there was a time where I wasn't really doing that many of them, but I just didn't really have. I didn't have a way for people to book with me. So unorganized. But anyway, are we doing plugs? Do I just need a plug?
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
first,
go for it.
what's your show tomorrow? What's it about?
What? Strange Brew with are you talking about with Tomcat?
The one at 10 a.m.
The one at 10 a.m. It's just it's his first time. We've done a lot of swap casts together on different things. We did a couple on the protocols of the Elders of Zion and stuff on like the Anunnaki and stuff. And he's just gonna come on and we're just gonna hang out. He's just a friend of mine. But we'll probably get into talking about Canadian nationalism and what's happening in his country. And he's gonna talk about this shadow experience that he had when he was, I think, on mushrooms one time. So that's going to be cool. Those are always fun stories to hear about. But yeah, it's his first time coming on my show as like a guest. So it's kind of like, long overdue. But yeah, I don't know, Eros. Sometimes I just bring people on. I don't really have subjects, and they turn out to be bangers. So I don't know. Sometimes people come on and I'll have a set subject where we talk about stuff, but sometimes it's just like a shoot the shit interview and we end up talking about 20 different things. And no. But yeah, anyway, guys, follow me on Twitter at GrayPillPod, Instagram, GrayPill_podcast, Rumble, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Patreon. Doing a lot of stuff over there. I just sent out sticker packs this week. Y'all may have gotten an Occult Reject sticker in that pack as well. So yeah, man.
Send you more.
Dude, I'm gonna try and print some more of mine. I may try and print some of ours as well. So you're talking about that rose design. I told you should put on a shirt. That'd be cool on a sticker too.
Yeah, that would look. Yeah, that would look good.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, guys, patreon.com/GrayPillPodcast. Best way to support the show. If you're on Rumble, I do locals as well. All the ways to support the show are in the links in the description. And yeah, try to tune into the shows this weekend. And yeah, I hope everybody had a good turkey day and ate a lot and spent time with their families.
Very nice. Yeah.
Absolutely. And if you want to find me, I'm on Twitter and I'm on YouTube and I'm on Instagram as well. So you can check me out there. And we're going to be posting, a lot of interviews and stuff from this summit out there in Scottsdale. Last time I was in Arizona, the Wolf Bitches as well. So last time I was in Arizona, I went to go see the Hopi out in Old Arrivie, the oldest continuously lived in town in the United States. This time, I'm going back to talk about it. So it's going to be fun.
Nice. Thank you, sir. And
yeah, if you want to find me, you can find me on YouTube at ErosUp, or I've done some other things on the Occult Rejects. And you can find me on Twitter at ErosTethos.
You'll be seeing her a lot more. Hopefully, she'll be coming on with us a lot more. Yeah. Hanging out with the big boys.
Astrology time! Astrology time!
The boys want to learn about astrology.
Definitely. Let's set that up. And my wife would probably want to come on for that. She's going to start coming on for some of these shows as well, guys. Babylon Podcast. Go subscribe to her. I may stream a movie tonight because my family is at my mother-in-law's. I don't know. Y'all get at me if y'all want me to. We'll make it happen.
Oh yeah, that one movie, the
Lost Highway,
Eraserhead.
Oh, I thought The Lost Highway.
Lost Highway. Yeah, we were talking about that or Blue Velvet. Blue Velvet's a little more slow, so I don't know. Maybe I should put a poll out there. I don't know. Sorry, Nick. I don't mean to interrupt.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Real quick, I do want to mention to the shows that we actually I do have tomorrow. It's horrible. I actually forgot about it. We have Big T Mims. I don't even know how to say his name. He's kind of like an Instagram. He's one of those Instagram accounts that got kind of like popular, and he's in New York, and he worse accent than mine. I mean, you could definitely tell this guy's probably from fucking Brooklyn, and he goes around and he films like he's got a good case, and it is like, out of all the times I've looked at it, it was like, oh wow, that's some weird occult architecture. I've never really looked at like the size of the shit. And he kind of starts like showing this stuff and the dates and maybe even the stories about how it was built. And he's like, can you please tell me how this makes fucking sense? This is even here. Like even when he shows like one of the bridges, I never knew the story. Like the guy died like halfway through the fucking construction, and somehow his wife, over listening to the fucking dude, was able to finish the bridge by hearing how it was built. Hey, that's fine. I mean, come on. I mean, the lady literally finished the bridge overhearing her husband talk to somebody about it. I don't buy that. I don't buy that. I'm sorry. You know, and it's just like, you know, these weird, you know, like I think I forgot. Wasn't the Empire State Building supposedly built in 2 years too? If you start looking at the dates, it's like, oh, what the fuck? How was that possible? Just very weird. So he has like a lot of like weird, like religious, even like showing cops stations that are like look like fucking castles in the city, you know, and stuff in like DC and Philly as well. Really interesting guy, funny as fuck. It should be fun. I think we got him coming on tomorrow at 8:00. And then this I'm really excited about. It's a pretty, I mean, I'll be totally honest with you. There's people in the occult community there who's even asking me, how the fuck did you get this guy on the show? We got Ike Baker coming on Sunday, and he is like, he's in the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. He's also in the Martinists. He was also involved with, and I think he still might be in the Blue Lodge and the York Rite Freemasonry. This guy has been around for like 20 years. He's got his own show.
I'm gonna try to be here for that, Nick.
Yeah. So this guy is well known, and real crazy is that he grew up in Suffolk County, and he moved to North Carolina like me. Pretty fucking bizarre. we were talking, and he was like, yeah, I just moved here from New York as well. I was like, from where? He was like, Suffolk County. I was like, get the fuck out of here, dude. That is the fuck. That's where I grew up. So it was really weird. So it should be really cool. So yeah, definitely looking forward to both those guests this weekend. So if people can check those out, definitely check it out. Definitely check out Eros' channel, Jules. Check out Hellas's. Definitely check out Jules's book shit too. That shit's fun. So check it out. So you're switching that to Sundays, you said?
It's Sunday this week because Tom booked tomorrow morning. They're usually Saturday morning, guys. Esoteric book review. This week we are doing Hall's treatise on occult symbolism of animals. Boom. So this was one of the first books I got into on Grey Pilled a couple years ago. I understand it a lot better now. So it's gonna be fun. A lot of stuff for you, Headless. I think in here. A lot of Pliny and a lot of quotes from a lot of Greek philosophers and stuff.
Well,
so
I just got the book Water Wizard by Victor Schauberger, and he talks all about fish and how they have certain vortexes that go on the outside of their body that allow them to propel through water. So that would be a nice
water
crossover.
portals, man. That's how Damien Eccles says you communicate with Archangel Gabriel is through water. So take his word for it, I guess. But he has that weird book on Enochian magic. I may have looked through it at Barnes and Noble. Anyway, didn't mean to derail.
Check it out. And yeah, I guess that's the end of this one. Thank you, everybody in the chat. That's what's up. I've been seeing some new names that have been coming quite often. I really appreciate that. Notice a lot more people that are actually into the occult and I think actually practice it. I do appreciate that, and I appreciate any comments you can help leave to help maybe educate or just give your theory on things as well. I always appreciate people adding. That's why we go live as well. And again, appreciate everybody coming by. And that's the end of this one. And until the next one, everybody be well. Later.